Welcome to the final video for To Kill a Mockingbird, so we're right at the end of the novel, which is great news. So in chapter 30, why does the sheriff claim that Mr. Ewell's death was an accident? Page 279 to 280. Halfway down 279, two-thirds of the way down, we have Mr. Tate, who was our sheriff. He says, "Mr. Finch." Mr. Tate said stolidly, "Bob Ewell fell on his knife. He killed himself." So clearly we know that Boo Radley actually killed Bob Ewell, but the sheriff wants this to be ruled as an accident. Now, the bottom paragraph of 279, Atticus is not happy about this. "Heck," Atticus' back was turned. "If things hushed up, it'll be a simple denial to Jem of the way I've tried to raise him. Sometimes I think I'm a total failure as a parent, but I'm all they've got. Before Jem looks at anybody else, he looks at me, and I've tried to live so I can squarely look back at him. If I connived at something like this, frankly, I couldn't meet his eye, and the day I can't do that, I know I've lost him. I don't want to lose him and Scout, because they're all I've got." "Mr. Finch," Mr. Tate was still planted to the floorboards, "Bob Ewell fell on his knife. I can prove it." So basically, the sheriff just wants to solve this case quickly. He doesn't have any time for somebody like Bob Ewell. And page 282, there's this idea that Boo Radley is a mockingbird. Right down the bottom of 282, well, it'd be a sort of like shooting a mockingbird, wouldn't it? The point there being that if everybody in the town found out that Boo Radley had killed Mr. Ewell, Boo Radley would get a lot of attention. Now, of course, Boo Radley is a very reclusive man, and he does not like people. Therefore, it would be like shooting a mockingbird if Boo Radley was exposed as the hero of this event. Now, chapter 31, what's interesting is Boo says, "Will you take me home?" This is a great quotation, so if we write an essay about Boo Radley, this is a fantastic quotation to use, because he doesn't say much at all in the book. And the first thing he really talks about is going home, which is very ironic. And on page 284, it describes his voice, so about 1/3 of the way down. "He almost whispered it, in the voice of a child afraid of the dark." Okay, remember, this is Scout's point of view. He almost whispered it in the voice of a child afraid of the dark. Now, Scout thinks a little bit more about Boo Radley on page 284. You might notice that neighbor has American spelling. That's why it's underlined in red. So I haven't made a spelling mistake there. That's just the way it's spelt in the United States. 284. "Boo was our neighbor. He gave us 2 soap dolls, a broken watch and a chain, a pair of good luck pennies in our lives. But neighbors give in return. We never put back into that tree what we took out of it. We had given him nothing, and it made me sad." So that's an interesting way of looking at the world, because earlier on in the book, Scout thinks that Boo Radley is a very horrible and scary man. But she's come to appreciate that actually Boo has tried to do a lot for these children. At the very end of the novel, page 287, Atticus and Scout are talking about a fictional story. And Scout is sort of talking about Boo Radley here. "And they chased him and never could catch him because they didn't know what he looked like. And Atticus, when they finally saw him, why, he hadn't done any of those things. Atticus, he was real nice. His hands were under my chin, pulling up the cover, tucking it around me. Most people are, Scout, when you finally see them." He turned up the light and went into Jem's room. He would be there all night, and he would be there when Jem waked up in the morning. So that's the end of the book. It's great that we've finally finished this. So what I'd like to do is, on Monday, check your books. I'll talk about the reading log. Don't forget the reading log is due on Tuesday. And we're going to do some essay writing practice for this novel too. Thank you very much.